The sun rises over a land that humans will one day call Ghost Ranch. The first rays of dawn illuminate a strange and dangerous world. There is no grass, and mammals and birds do not yet exist. Today the ranch is known to have been the home of a famous artist. But millions of years ago, it was home to dinosaurs. And millions of years ago, disaster fell upon these lands. Huge masses of dead dinosaurs, all killed in one night. This mystery has been studied for years. But, if you look carefully, there is just enough evidence left behind in the fossils to raise the ghosts of a lost world. "5 days before the disaster. The land is arid and parched, and the local river has been reduced to a few puddles. Earth is a very different place than it is today. Every continent is joined together in a single landmass called Pangaea. The interior of Pangaea receives little rain, and this river valley has been in a state of drought for nearly 8 months. In this Triassic world, ancient species of reptiles and amphibians have ruled the Earth for millions of years, their world only shared with invertebrates and fish. But recently, new contenders for the throne have emerged. The dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, such as these Coelophysis, are descended from reptiles, but they walk on 2 legs, and are warm-blooded. Their impending success is already showing, as their numbers are on the rise. The sun grows higher in the sky, and the temperatures rise with it. "5 miles to the east, the land is nearly devoid of life. A small group of Coelophysis are wandering this desert in search of water. All of them are dehydrated and exhausted from their journey. In the distance, a group of armored Desmatosuchus are also searching for water. The Desmatosuchus know where the river is, and unwittingly, they are leading the Coelophysis there as well. This journey is hard on every animal, and one of the Desmatosuchus has succumbed to the heat. Its carcass becomes food for the Coelophysis, which will not waste any meal. One day later, even more coelophysis have gathered at the river. The remaining water sources have drastically shrunk. Many animals are sickening from the lack of hydration, and the weakest have already died off. Food is also scarce, and some coelophysis have cannibalized their fallen comrades. A group of coelophysis wander into the dry scrub surrounding the river in hopes of finding food. But another dinosaur is hungry too. The coelophysis are being stalked by a predator. This dinosaur is a close relative to the coelophysis, but one that measures twice as long, at 6 meters. Scientists will call this predator Gojirasaurus, but during the age of dinosaurs, it was known only as a killer. The Gojirasaurus strike with speed and power unrivaled by any dinosaur of this time. The Gojirasaurus are one of the first large carnivorous dinosaurs. They are early theropods. This lineage will eventually give rise to monsters longer than a city bus, such as the famous Tyrannosaurus. Another day goes by. In the afternoon heat, temperatures climb well over 40 degrees Celsius. Another animal has arrived here in search of water, a pterosaur. Pterosaurs are not dinosaurs, but closely related reptiles. Soon, along with the dinosaurs, they will dominate life on Earth. As they rest on this rock, the pterosaurs are plagued by tiny, biting flies. Although they eat insects, the flies are no more than a nuisance. Like the dinosaurs, pterosaurs will one day grow to epic proportions, and reptiles will rule both the sky and the land. The day drags on. More and more coelophysis are gathering at the river, which is causing the water to disappear even faster. The water that these coelophysis are drinking from has been stagnant for nearly 2 months, and is filled with sediments and bacteria. Many coelophysis are growing ill, and the death toll is rising every day. The diseases, the lack of water, and the drought are pushing the dinosaurs to their limits. Another day has passed. It is now less than 2 days until disaster will strike. This group of Desmartosuchus have been drinking from a small pond that they defend from other animals. However, the pond is shrinking fast. The two male Desmartosuchus confront each other. The pond isn't big enough for both of them. After a violent beating, the older Desmartosuchus flees, outmatched by his younger counterpart. "30 hours have passed. The ecosystem now sits on the eve of disaster. As more and more coelophysis gather, the water sources shrink even more. This coelophysis is suffering from heat exhaustion, but he will recover. Unlike some of his comrades, who will never live to see the end of the drought. As the sun begins to set, the situation worsens. Only a few puddles remain in the entire riverbed, and they will be gone before sunrise. Some coelophysis leave the river with the hope of finding water elsewhere, but most are too afraid to go far. The Desmartosuchus are struggling too. They have endured many dry seasons, but this one may be their last. Nightfall brings cooler temperatures to the land, but it does not solve the water problem. For unknown reasons, the coelophysis are agitated. Throughout the night they have been pacing anxiously around the riverbed. The sleeping coelophysis are woken up by a sudden drop in air pressure. A storm is coming, and all the dinosaurs can sense it. Clouds begin to gather in the west, and rumbles of thunder can be heard. Soon, it starts to rain. After a few minutes, the wind subsides as the storm front moves on, but the rain remains. Soon, the land is soaked, and it seems as though the troubles of the drought are over. But this is not the case. After hours of rain, a distant rumbling is felt by the coelophysis. A massive flash flood has begun in the mountains, and is bearing down on the dry riverbed. The sun rises over the now silent land. Nearly all of the coelophysis were killed in the torrent, and dozens of bodies were left behind. Further downstream, the floodwaters dispersed over a flat plain. Here, the true scale of the slaughter is revealed. The corpses have been washed up along the river bank in a tangled mess. Very soon, another storm will cause the river to rise again. The coelophysis will be gently buried in silt, where they will stay for 212 million years.